In 2015, security footage in a donut shop filmed Ariana Grande on her worst behavior, causing a whole slew of controversy. Because not only was she kissing her then backup dancer, but she contaminated the donuts by licking them with said backup dancer, which were unwittingly sold to customers later. She was even seemingly disrespectful to the workers, saying, but to the public eye, worse than all of that, Ariana committed the greatest sin. Being an unpatriotic traitor. And thus, donutgate was born. There was such an uproar about her behavior that Ariana Grande released what first started off as damage control, but then spiraled into something even bigger. She gave us the blueprint for the cultural zeitgeist of the late 2010s and early 2020s. Because Ariana not only gave us the shorty in an oversized hoodie look, but the Notes app apology, which we'll talk more about this in a bit, but I've been thinking about the design and economy of celebrity and influencer public apologies. What makes an apology more authentic and what makes it more of like a faux apology? Why did the Notes app design work until it didn't? And are we all sick and tired of saying sorry? That was meant to be Justin Bieber. What's more human than remorse and repentance? Welcome to the D spot, the best spot. It's itsdivya. What does the G stand for? The G stands for gonna be analyzing the. In the digital age, you have two main categories. We either have video or text-based. I believe we have yet to see a live theater production, but Lin-Manuel Miranda hasn't yet been embroiled in like a massive scandal yet. Video. The subgenres include the most prolific of all, the YouTube apology video. Zoella, Tana, Rice Gum, David Dobrik, the Patreon / you have to pay in order to see my apology video, live on stream apologies, the Instagram / Snapchat story apology, and anything else outsourced either on TV, podcast, radio. For text-based, the most prolific are the Notes app apology, the Instagram or Snapchat story, and all form of blogs and social media. Apologizing became expected, from addressing serious allegations to addressing even the tiniest little thing. Think about Justin Bieber when he had to apologize for showing his butt on his own Instagram. The celebfluencer apology became a little ecosystem within itself. It became the outrage economy. Rage would start, the celebrity will apologize, and people will react to it, dissecting everything, and the people dissect those dissections. YouTubers would create their own niche, just reacting to apology videos, racking up hundreds of thousands of views, fueling that negative attention. After our clairvoyant Justin Bieber posted the song Sorry in 2015, we only saw an upward trend of frequency of apology videos. This was further fueled by the fact that in 2016 was like peak neoliberal progressivism era. I mean, BuzzFeed was popping at the time creating content like this, but given the fact that we are now in like 1960s fascism era, I wouldn't mind 2016 woke era again. Like, I wouldn't mind that back. In fact, according to the Public Impulse, in 2018, there were only 2 days out of the entire calendar year that a public figure or company did not release some sort of apology statement. This is the art and design of digital apology. Buckle up, guys. You are about to attend the best design school ever. No money needed and no debt. If we were to quarter chart some of the most prolific apologies in our apology cinematic universe, on the scale of, okay, you said a whole lot of nothing to, all right, I believe you, okay, so you're sincere, yeah. And from low entertainment value to, okay, EGOT. We could chart it something like this. I'm gonna explain a few of these later on, but the range of apologies encompassed the entire human experience. We had corporate apologies, we had crypto scam apologies, we had an overpriced calendar apology, we had cheating apologies, cat, human relation allegations, racism. And to be honest, I think the one person who should have done a public apology, if not the Notes app one, is Belly. It's like if Belly was to make a statement. We're missing out on the opportunity to make your apology not look like it was written when you were fighting for your life on the toilet, and to really design it. Imagine the engagement if this were formatted like an Instagram therapy reel. It doesn't even have to take a long time to make it using our sponsor Kittle. It's still gonna be easy, and at least it'll be aesthetic with inbuilt templates. Kittle, the Swiss Army knife of the design world. Assets, high quality photos, textures, fonts in platform, so it won't even take that long to get that Instagram aesthetic feel.
I'm sorry to hear that your grandma passed away. I actually am like, obviously I'm gonna be upset about that, yeah. And then the only thing is, no one can force me to be a mate or anything, yeah. And I don't want to be mates with you, alright?
You can just funnel your audience into your coaching services with a comment grandma. In fact, forget engagement. I think we're missing an opportunity to paywall the event. Come to my private apology. Limited screening for the true fans. Repair that PR nightmare. The inbuilt guides and front library give professional for whatever your aesthetic need. You don't even have to leave the platform for editing photos, like removing backgrounds and making your own vectors. So Kittle's font library can virtually match any aesthetic, and I really like how they listen to feedback from designers. They've added a new feature recently where you can edit each individual letter. The inbuilt mockups let me see exactly how this advertising campaign might look like if brought to life. Whether you're making a YouTube thumbnail with your crisis management team or making, I'm sorry, limited edition sweatshirts, you can make it for free using my link below. And if you're liking the look of the pro features, 25% off your first month or year if you choose with my code DIVYA, YT. So thank you so much to Kittle for sponsoring. Back to Ariana Grande popularizing the Notes app apology, because when she released the statement, we learned a lot. And more than just the fact that she uses bright mode, which is the best mode, argue with the wall. At the time, Twitter was limited to like 140 characters, and unless you were writing like a haiku of an apology, the only way to really get around that was either screenshots or, if you really want to show your age, tweet longer. And in response to donutgate, she tweeted this: "Need to clean up this mouth of mine and set a better example for my babes. I apologize and I love you. Always learning." With a screenshot taken from the Notes app on iPhone. First, let's look at the language that she used, and then the design and psychology of the digital apology. I want to first disclaim, I'm not an Ariana Grande hater. She's actually one of my favorite musicians. I just want to analyze it in the context of an apology. It doesn't really matter that it was Ariana who did this or not. I am extremely proud to be an American, and I've always made it clear that I love my country. What I said in a private moment with my friend who was buying the donuts, shifting apology here, was taken out of context. Deny. She's using deflective language here, you know? It's not her fault that she liked the donut. As an advocate for healthy eating is the moral framework that she uses for being a bit rude to the service worker. Food is very important to me. True. Food is important to me too. Yes. I sometimes get upset by how freely we bringing the reader into it, you know, it's collective responsibility actually. As Americans, eat and consume things without any thought to the consequences that it has on our health and society as a whole. Her moral framing is that actually this is social critique. Me saying, what are these donuts, is actually in the context of a systemic global health issue, which I think both can be true. The fact that the United States has the highest child obesity rate in the world frustrates me. We need to do more to educate ourselves and our children about the dangers of overeating, positioning herself as a sort of activist by licking the donut. We also need to demand more from our food industry. Depose. However, I should have known better in how I express myself, and with my new responsibility to others as a public figure, I will strive to be better. So here's where like the fault admission comes in, framed within the context of social critique and comes secondarily. She apologizes for her word choice, not necessarily her actions. As for why I can't be at the MLB show, topic change here. I have had an emergency oral surgery. Here's the technique of appealing to sympathy. And here's the magic golden words that will plague nearly every celebfluencer apology. If I have offended anybody. Here we have a hedged apology. Okay, I'm sorry for your feelings. Bearing in mind, she was 22 here in the context of a mind framed by eating disorder thoughts. She could have just said, I am really sorry for my behavior. Licking the donut and being rude to the service worker was really disrespectful and thoughtless, and I deeply apologize and take full responsibility. I do not, however, apologize for saying that I hate America, because I was low-key right, and from next year, Donald Trump is gonna be elected, and then it's all gonna be downhill from here. I've gone to the worker to apologize to them in person and compensate for any damages I've caused. I will strive to do better. God do not bless America. So if we think about why did the Notes app work from a designer psychology perspective, Twitter, when it was overrun by Nazis era, was such a fun public square for discourse, right? And celebrities were very heavily saying whatever they wanted, sometimes a little bit too much. There was a humanness to public figures that I don't think we'll ever truly get back. The architecture of Twitter affords this sort of immediacy and directness about it. The stylistic case is important here. The actual tweet is in all lower caps. It's giving I'm friendly, my babes, I love you. Appealing to the parasocial here. Yeah, 45,000 people, I love you. Compare that to the polished uppercase of her actual statement. The fact that it's a screenshot in the Notes app on an iPhone in 2015, when iPhone users and Samsung users were treated like it's a caste system, there's an intimacy and casualness about this. Like, you don't know if she wrote this at 3 a.m. crying or if she wrote this shitting on the toilet after she just finished writing her grocery list and her pros and cons of should I break up with my boyfriend at the time. Like, I'm not saying I've done that or anything. The sans serif font is default. It's warm, it's friendly, it's readable. 18,000 conversations continuing. A quick overview of other celebrities. Taylor Swift got a lot of heat for a minuscule detour in her Notes app apology, with people noticing that it said the word search at the top. In the Notes app, this only comes up if you actively type a keyword to search for something and click on that. So people were speculating, oh, this must have been pre-drafted. As if you don't also pre-draft what you're gonna say or what I'm gonna say when the barista asks you, oh, what do you want? James Charles has had more Notes app apologies than I've said, oh, video next week. The context is I keep saying video next week and then it's never next week. And I just keep, I do that a lot. Leah Michelle redid a masterclass Skillshare course on how to hit all of the Notes app starter pack apology phrases. We need to listen. I'm sorry for my behavior. My behavior was perceived by them. While I don't remember this specific statement, we can all grow and change. Taking this time to I am becoming a mother. I will be better in the future. It's funny because they think that this when they're writing. The Notes app apology became a meme. It also became overused, but because it was so divorced from the human aspect of it, a lot of people feel like it wasn't enough. For example, Ariana got backlash for this post, and then she released a video re-apologizing. So many celebrities started doing it that the Notes app became a little bit stale. We saw a shift to the public spectacle of video apologies. How does the Notes app compare to, say, the Instagram story? The dichotomy between the tragedy of the Astroworld Travis Scott incidents, which left 10 people dead and dozens more injured due to an unmanaged crowd crash, and the transience of this Instagram video that he posted.
For the ones that was lost last night, we're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time. You know, my fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience. I could just never imagine the severity of the situation.
It's the black and white filter. It's the fact that it's 24 hours and then it's gone, while also saying a whole lot of nothing. When you think about video formats and apology videos, how many of you actually remember what they said? A lot of times, because we may not really believe them, it gets transformed into a meme. Only a few of them really get remembered, like these.
It was just like, no big deal. Like, sucking cock. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. Time and place. And you did it at my birthday dinner.
I want to talk to you guys in this video. It's been so long. No excuses here today. I'm not here to give you an excuse. I have no excuses.
Something that I saw floating around on Twitter yesterday was the amount of people that were calling me a Tory. And I just want to 100% clear up right now that I'm not a Tory.
I knew this would cause a lot of controversy. I know that. But I didn't think it would get to this magnitude. I didn't think it was possible.
There's no excuse. There's nothing I can say that's an excuse. I'm just sorry. I did that 6 years ago.
Been some upset, disappointed people in the Zoella Lifestyle Advent Calendar, more specifically the price of the calendar. The price of any product is up to a retailer, and I know that there's some of you that might not have known that, so I wanted to come on here and like explain that to you, because even my mum didn't realize that. I don't want people to think that I'm like sat at home like counting £50 every time someone buys this calendar, thinking that that was a conscious decision that I made to rip people off.
It's not me. It's not about anyone else. This is my sorry. There's another part of this story that, like, I don't know if you all know. None. Hardest things I've ever done.
Logan Paul's apology video for filming a dead person's body and treating it like a joke remains ingrained in my mind.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm simply here to apologize.
John Steinbeck wishes he came up with this. There's a performance aspect to apology videos. How they sit, how they dress, the editing choices that they make. The YouTube apology became a genre within itself. Crying on a couch, no cuts, most of the times no music, no makeup, you sigh in the beginning, and there's a pause. This is the visual communication of distress, heavily leaning into the authenticity aspect in hopes of, strengthening the parasocial bond, and also mitigating any PR and financial disasters which it may cause. We all know that capitalism breeds innovation, and combine that with COVID, it really brought about this collective mental brain rot for the terminally online. Really brought a je ne sais quoi to apology videos. One of the most audacious apology videos, Sienna Mays, a TikToker who was accused of SA, then did an interpretive dance to Sam Smith after a long period of silence.
But through struggle, I hope this can inspire you.
Colleen Ballinger, aka Miranda Sings apology, where she was outed for inappropriate sexual jokes to minors and mistreatment of her fans, needed a ukulele. So what makes apology videos taken well? The one apology video that was really favored that comes to mind is Jenna Marbles. In the midst of a COVID lockdown and sort of unprovoked, she chose to release a very public statement apologizing for her past behavior, her past racism, misogyny. Whilst in the video some of the language is the same, for example using "if I offended you," and it had the hallmarks of the YouTube apology, what made this one different was, firstly, there wasn't already a sort of PR crisis that needed to be managed, and secondly, she left. The Try Guys were also in a scandal with one of the co-founders who was very much his personality was that he loved his wife, was caught cheating on said wife with his employee. Some people post an apology video, and some people monetize the apology video, and some people paywall their apology video. The trend of apologies is we are seeing less and less people apologize. Firstly, I think it's the shift in conservatism / right-wing politics. For example, Sydney Sweeney did an ad recently for American Eagle jeans, and it was heavily Nazi coded.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring. It's like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My jeans are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has great jeans.
At the same time, it was also referencing a 1980s band Calvin Klein advert which featured a minor Brooke Shields at the time, and it was very sexually suggestive. American Eagle didn't apologize, they basically doubled down on it, and Sydney Sweeney, she's dating this guy. Do we have sorry fatigue, activism fatigue, negative news fatigue, and now sorry fatigue? News cycles are increasingly algorithmically negative. It feels like every single year there is a Sisyphean battle against the algorithm to find a shred of positivity. Every single year becomes the worst year. And there's studies that find that with celebrities, it's not really when they apologize that matters as much as the fact that they do apologize in itself, because your words are your actions, and your actions are your actions. For some fans, this is more than enough. How does an act that is so vulnerable, so exposing, like snot dripping out, their whole solucy is out, become laughed at, become cliche, become meme? Is it the distance between the celebrity and we as a viewer? Is it the anonymity? Because when they cry, you see them not as a person, but as pixels imitating flesh. Or is it the fact that the faux apology feels so ritualistic and so commodified? When the Notes app is the start and the end to any justice that's served. I mean, sure, the fallibility of man and, celebrities are human. We should show people grace when they're being vulnerable, authentic, and they're willing to change. Celebfluencers are like you and me, except they've beaten all of the odds and have access to insurmountable amounts of wealth, privilege, and resources that our lineage will never see, let alone us in our own lifetime. What's the opportunity cost of being sorry? The reality is that yes, the apology is for the fans, but it's also for the stakeholders. It's also for securing the check. Maybe it's not the apology that's tired, but the fact that deep down we know that there will be nothing of consequence, really. The people at the top get away with literally anything. Assault, racism, sexism. After a brief period, their careers will probably be seemingly fine. But then speaking up, being an activist, and being against genocide is crossing the line. It's like when Apple releases Severance, you think, is Severance not what you're criticizing? Capitalist structures will here and again critique itself. It acts like a really small release for us. It's like, you know, when you have the doll and then you release the pressure because otherwise it's gonna blow up. And if you don't understand that reference, it's like, you know, when you fart but you're actually really blocked up, but it feels really good. You're like, okay, just let out a little bit. Them saying sorry is a bit like a release for a lack of accountability that ends up happening. I'm not saying that saying sorry is a waste of time or anything, but I think this is why a lot of us just don't tend to believe it. We literally incentivize fueling this negative attention. They say a whole lot of nothing. They neutralize whatever damages they've caused, and we get entertainment, and sometimes we get to capitalize on their apology as well, but there's really any accountability. Is it really too late now to say sorry? Sometimes like a my bad will suffice, you know?